Today we're really happy to welcome multi-talented actor, musician, author, Peter Dante. And Peter's probably best known as an actor, star of Grandma's Boy, quarterback in Waterboy. Played in The Wedding Singer with his good friend, Steve Buscemi. Welcome, Peter.
Thank you, Ron. How are you, sir?
Good to meet you.
Thanks for having me. Good to meet you, too. Great to meet you.
We're going to have some fun, eh?
Yes, sir. Yes. That's why I flew in early, to be with you. Big Boogie told me, man, when Big Boog says, Dante, you got to come in early to be with my boy Ron Jess, I say, of course I will.
That's really sweet of you, and I appreciate that so
and
much.
I like the little whistle you got going from the tooth you just had come out, and then you didn't wear the replacement one on purpose, so you'd be whistling with me today. I like that because I have a lisp also.
You were born in Hartford, Connecticut.
Yes, sir, 1968.
We used to visit out there. My dad was in the Navy, and he'd take us on these ships reunions. And he had one of his best friends was from Connecticut on the water, but there was all rocks going down, and there was a park with rides close by. Do you know?
Yeah, it could be. It could be down by in Fairfield County, probably like Black Point, Connecticut, probably near where the Kennedy compound was, actually.
The water was cold.
Yes, that's the Atlantic Ocean for you. The Pacific's even colder.
Peter, your life with mom and dad and siblings, tell us about that.
Okay, well, being raised by my mother and father, who are, God bless them both, 87, 86 years old, present day. Love you both dearly. I'm the fifth of six kids. I was a loyal altar boy at the church, St. Peter Claver, because my mother went to church often, as she still does, I think, daily. And during Lent masses, one of my favorite parts of growing up in the Catholic Church was my mom would walk me into Lent mass on the first day of Lent. And you know, Lent is 40 days and nights. If you guys don't know the Bible, we'll teach you. And my mother would say to Monsignor Kennedy and Father Chagru and Father Kiley, hey, don't worry, Peter will be a half hour early every morning so we could light the candles and put the wine in the chalice for you, Monsignor Kennedy. So I would do 40 days in a row of altar boying. And I also sang in the church choir and would sing at people's weddings and funerals and would ask the guy, why am I singing at these people's weddings and funerals? I don't know them. And he'd say, because you're a good singer and we like you. So I've had a very interesting life all my life. And in my family, I knew that most people in New England, where I'm from, they kind of stay where they're from unless they go to New York, you know, and do corporate jobs. And I couldn't wait to get out of there and make it to California and make my dreams come true. So I had a great, great upbringing, and I love my family dearly for that, but I'm so happy that they supported me and came to my first movie premiere called The Wedding Singer in New York.
Peter, your favorite role in a movie was quarterback in The Waterboy, and I've seen it 100 times. My son's seen it. What was that like?
Needle dick, sorry.
Needle dick, needle dick, needle dick.
Had to do it. I'll tell you what, Adam knew I played football, so he said to me, hey, do you want to be the kicker or the quarterback? He's like, I wrote the part of the quarterback for you. I was like, I want to be the quarterback. He's like, well, you got to be an asshole to me. I'm like, that's going to be very easy. So a lot of those lines were improv. I made it way more extreme than it was in the script. It was a beautiful, beautiful job also because of guys like Henry Winkler playing the coach.
Yeah.
Guys like Blake Clark, Farmer Fran, the assistant coach, who's Harry the Tool Man on that, Tim, that whatever guy.
Tim Allen.
Tim Allen show. Yeah, he's whatever, the Harry the Tool guy, right? So also Kathy Bates, being able to work with people like that in my second film, major motion picture, and being one of the co-leads, unbelievable. Adam being trustworthy of us would give you room to improv and come up with your own stuff and also help him with lines and stuff. That's really how we worked at Happy Madison all those years, was if you're behind the scenes and you're off camera, you help whoever's on camera at that moment. And if whatever they're saying isn't making sense or not funny enough, you come up with something for them.
Well, we love football, Michigan football. We had a year last year, and
Jim Harbaugh, how you doing?
Our Lions are kicking some ass, and so love football. Quarterback in high school. My son was a quarterback in high school.
I was a D-back. I had 11
that's
picks in
that's my
1986.
next question.
Well, Ron, I'm going to tell you this. I have to tell you this.
11 picks.
11
you had.
picks. Yeah,
I know.
and I babysat for the head coach too. So he would like take me out at halftime, and I'd want to get more interceptions. I still hold the record at the school or whatever, but like, I would get so mad at him that I wouldn't talk to him at night when I'm be babysitting. He's like, "What's the matter with you?" I'm like, "You took me out at halftime today, coach. You should have let me play the third quarter at least." And the best part of that also is like everything I've ever done in my life, including high school football, lacrosse in college and high school. I just talked to my head coach of lacrosse, John Danowski, who's the head coach at Duke now. And he just
wow.
he just recently played my version of Redemption song that I sang on the radio live doing an interview for the movie Strange Wilderness years ago. And he played it to inspire the team and just to show kids that at 55 years old, I've never stopped chasing my dreams. I continue to chase my dreams down every day, and I live my dreams. And I think that every one of you out there, no matter how old you are, no matter what you're going through, please listen to me. You can change on a dime. You can change in a heartbeat. You can also be consistent and loving and have common courtesy and loyalty, because my new song, Love and Loyalty, will be another #1 song, and my son Lucas will be on it. And I'll tell you this right now. Just be nice, be loving, be loyal, and things will work out for you.
That's beautiful. I agree.
And the transition from being a QB, like you and your son, though, imagine your friend saying, Adam invited me over to the house. He was staying in Windermere where Tiger Woods lived at the time. And Shaq was a rookie on the Orlando Magic when we met him. And Adam calls me over and he goes, "Hey, man," everyone was sitting in the living room. My boss, the future boyfriend from Big Daddy, they're all sitting there in the living room. He goes, "Hey, man, you're doing really well playing the QB. Disney likes your job. You're doing being a good asshole." I'm like, "Thanks, buddy. What's up?" He goes, "Well, the next movie you're going to kiss this guy because you're playing his boyfriend. You're playing a gay lawyer." And it was funny because at the time I was like, "Oh, no." But it was the best transition I ever made as an actor. I had so much fun doing Big Daddy, playing the lawyer. And we got nominated for a GLAAD Award. Plus, I got to meet the twins, Dylan and Cole Sprouse, who I'm still in touch with. Like, I've been blessed with every single job, every opportunity, every turn that should have taken a wrong turn in my life. God has always had his eyes out for me and his energy out for me to do the right thing. So I get a chance to say I'm sorry to people. So if I owe any of you an apology out there, then guess what? I'm sorry. I must have been in a different state of mind or a wrong state of mind, because I'm in the right state of mind right now to say that I am sorry and I love you.
Peter, this isn't Hollywood. Welcome to the Midwest in Michigan, home of Jeff Daniels. Always wanted his kids to grow up with the life he had in Chelsea, Michigan. It's outside of Ann Arbor, and it's Midwest, and he just wanted his kids to grow up here. And I'm not knocking Hollywood, but he just felt he grew up in the country.
That gave me chills, Ronnie, because I do miss my mother and father daily. I do miss my upbringing. I miss New England. I miss my family back there, my friends I grew up with. But for me, my ex-wife, Cynthia, and who I live with, and my dogs and my kids being out there and wanting to be in the business that I was in, I'm going to stay there and also continue to do my cannabis business out of Texas and my cannabis business here with the Big Boog and Darren McCarty. Those are my partners here in town. I would love to be able to move somewhere at some point and live elsewhere, but I would have to probably take my family with me. I love my family too much.
Understood.
Mm-hmm.
AA meetings, I go Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 7 a.m., about a mile from here. And
do you go to a men's meeting or mixed?
It's men. There's women can come, but the table I'm at, you can imagine, it's 10 guys. We all know each other. But what I'm trying to say is AA is like truth serum. AA is, picture that goofy De Niro jabbing Ben Stiller in the neck. That's a hilarious part. With real truth serum, and you know what went on from that in that movie.
Oh, yeah.
It was pretty funny.
A series of greatness.
It was, we are the Fockers, So we get about 10 people around the table. They're huge liars. They're drunks. They sit around the table. But I believe in my heart, I don't believe I know I have not, but I don't believe I've seen one of them lie, because they're looking you in the eye and they're sober. It's pretty cool.
I like that.
Yeah, and the pray to begin the meeting, the serenity of prayer, and the Our Father at the end. You can appreciate that too.
Yeah, God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, to change the things that I can, and the wisdom to know the difference.
You can just say that all day, every day, because I've learned that everybody's a zebra, and I've finally realized at 67 years old, stop trying to change the stripes, dude. You can't. They is who they is.
I needed to hear that more than you know today, sir. Thank you very much.
Well, sure.
And we could even say the Lord's Prayer at the end of this for all y'all out there, because I got this thing here and I got this thing around my neck from a woman at the border town in Eagle Pass, Texas, who came across the border with her children who wanted to meet me because I was the only actor there in town. And she gave me this red one at first and said to me in Spanish that you need an angel. And then her kid touched her and said something to her in her ear. And then she took this off her neck and said, no, you really need an angel. And she put that on top of me. And so I wear this in hopes that I will follow in the path and in the steps that God wants me to. So
That's nice. I've got this here we bought in Naples. My wife bought it for me, which is more special. 44 years of marriage, Michelle, and you got to meet Michelle. Isn't
she's beautiful.
She the best?
Oh my God, what do you mean? Naples, Italy, too. That's where my dad's family's from.
Naples, Florida.
Naples, Florida.
It's okay. It
Guess
still
what?
means the
Still
same.
beautiful. The cross in Naples, Florida is the exact same as the cross in Naples, Italy. It
There's
is.
a couple of Catholic boys. Brian Big Boogie's showing us one right
That's
now.
right, babe. Hey, I do this all the time with people. I take this out and I put it on their chest, and they don't know what I'm doing, and I'm pressing it against their cross when their cross is on their chest. And they're like, what are you doing? I'm like, we're just connecting, and we're just letting him know that we're together, So I feel like your intentions are mostly what your actions should be, but sometimes they're not. But as you get older, as you said, your analogy that you gave me earlier with your fridge was so clairvoyant and so real that you feel that you need that change inside you.
Well, Darren McCarty was sitting right there a few months ago, and six,
my
eight months ago. And everything really got better here after Darren. And one of the comments during that was that, hey, you can't lie on here. You're right there, and people can see you, and
Right.
it's the way it is. So, Peter, how did you and Adam Sandler meet?
Oh, at my real mentor's house, Gary Shandling. I was a production assistant on the Larry Sanders Show. And so every Saturday, the likes of David Duchovny,
Wow.
Kevin Nealon, Bob Odenkirk, Ben Stiller, Sarah Silverman, every Saturday we would go play basketball at Gary Shandling's. And so one day, Adam Sandler shows up, and I was there playing already. I was like, hey, man. I was like, what's up? I said, me and my lacrosse teammates in college used to sit in during spring break because you can't go away. You guys know this, if you're a spring athlete, you don't have spring break in college. You stay and practice twice a day and have games. So we would, in between video games, we would watch reruns of their cast of SNL. And so I was like, hey, dude, me and my lacrosse teammates used to watch you, and what a great show, da-da-da. He's like, you sound familiar. Where you from? I'm like, Connecticut. Where you from? He's like, I'm from New Hampshire. I'm like, oh, you shovel more snow than me. He's like, you want to play one-on-one after this? I said, yes, of course. We played one-on-one after that, a few games in a row, and became best friends.
That's so cool.
Yeah, simple.
Who are some of your best friends in the movie business?
Nowadays, it's changed a lot. Our business has changed a lot. I don't really hang out with actors that much. I've been doing a lot of music in the past 7 years straight. And also, the more famous they are, they don't come out. You have to go see them at their house, or invite them over. So, still friends with Adam, still friends with Brad. But there's all sorts of guys, Nick Swartz and Zach Galifianakis. All of us are friends. You just never see each other. You're always busy, or you're looking for a job, or someone's on a job. It's hard. It's hard. Oh, Dr. Shakalu, Abdullah Nam is one of my best friends. The guy who plays my roommate, the African tribesman roommate. His wife Cheryl's head of African studies and head of hip hop at UCLA also. And they have twin sons who are beautiful. Love them both. He and I hang out together still. We were together Friday night at the Rainbow Room, and he loves coming out with me because Grandma's Boy was his first movie ever. And he does speak 7 languages. He's a genius. He's from Senegal. Unbelievable, man. And he even, the actual tribesman outfit he had on is his real tribesman gear from Senegal. So the guy's a genius. And he loves hanging out with me because he's like, oh, Peter, everyone, he sounds like he's French, you know. Everyone recognizes me when I'm with you. Oh my God. They say, Dr. Chakalou, Dr. Chakalou. And my best friend, and I call him my best friend because when we first met, I was on the set shooting baskets with no shirt on because I had to be the tan naked weed dealer. You guys remember that? Terrible. Had to have a tanning.
I remember
booth.
your ass.
Yeah, my ass was terrible, whatever.
It was a better tan than the guy had on his face.
No way. Yeah, your ass is tanner than my face.
Yeah.
Right, so Chakalou walks on the set at LA Center Studios, and he walks through the fence, and I see him. Looks beautiful. Hat on, his leather satchel that he still carries around. And I go, Abdullah. And he goes, Dante? And I go, yeah, it's me, Peter. He goes, fly like a bird on the wings of love. And I go, wait, say that again? And he goes, fly like a bird on the wings of love. I want to thank you so much for picking me to play your roommate. And now to this day, and that's back in 2005, I guess. To this day, whenever we run into each other at like, Bristol Farms or wherever, the library, we literally yell to each other. I'll go, hey, Abdullah, and he'll turn. And I ran into him at the bank the other day, and the exact same thing happened. Like 2 weeks ago, Bank of America, and I go, Abdullah, is that you? And there was no one else in the bank. And he turns and goes, and we both go, fly like a bird on the wings of love. We yell that together every time we see each other. So that's one of my really good friends that I do keep in touch with, and I hope to hire him for the pilot I have being written right now. And I have an animated movie that's going to come out about my children's book that we're writing right now.
Timothy Timber?
Yes, sir. Timothy Timber. Guys, I wrote that book too. Can I just bring that up for a second?
Got this here.
I'm going to touch on that because I wrote that with a kid named Dr. Aaron Ozzie, partially autistic kid, beautiful, beautiful human. Has a couple good selling children's books. I met him at a Comic-Con randomly, I think in the Midwest too, years ago. And we wrote a book because I don't like how people are trying to take Dr. Seuss off the shelves.
Yes.
I feel like we, Ron Jess and I, and Brian Boogs, Boogie Entertainment, and Darren McCarty, and all my best friends, we are old school people. Yeah. And we know all the battles and stuff we went through. We don't want our children to go through. So we want to teach them how to read and be like these characters.
Well, this one, you brought it in, Boogie brought it in, and I've got money. I've got cash in my pocket. So this one is sold for my grandson, and we've got 6 of them, or 5.5. Right?
Maybe I'll record it and read it to them all and say their names at the top if we can get that done, sir. Yeah.
That is really nice of you. I was going to say, Peter, our last 3 concerts here, my wife and I and the kids, and we all went to Pine Knob, and we the first one was Kid Rock, and then her and I saw Smokey Robinson at the Fox Theater.
My God.
And then we saw James Taylor back at Pine Knob. That's my last 3 concerts. You gotta.
James Taylor and Carole King make me go crazy. Oh God, James Taylor's my favorite. Yeah, so good. Well, hey, the Marley Brothers are coming here on the 19th, and they have not played together in over a decade. Although that's, I think, one of their first shows on the tour.
Ziggy and the kids,
all of them,
and all of them,
all of them. Julian, Ziggy, Steven, Kailani, yeah, all the 5 brothers. Yeah, they're playing together, and one of their first shows here. So check them out, you guys. That's the kind of music I sing. I sing in my band. I have Bob Marley's original bass player, George Fully Fullwood. He's my bass player, and one of my drummers is Rock Dedrick, who was a drummer with Ziggy Marley. And the woman who is one of my backup singers is a woman named Gina Morell, who sings with all the bands. Because these guys, if they're not on tour, we play the Whiskey A Go-Go a few times a year, and I have to make sure they're available for a couple rehearsals and available to be paid, because you got to pay your musicians, you guys. If you are an artist and you do hire someone, please pay them. They need it, because everybody has to have a second job or another job.
Well, speaking of that, Peter, I don't make any money on this. I've made 0. I don't really care, because
it's a passion project, sir.
It is certainly that. It's at 66 years old. You hit it on it earlier. I needed something. I've been a manufacturer's rep for 40 years, still am, but I needed something for after it, and figured start now while you're still that, and then you, by the time I retire in a couple of years, I might be better at this, you know.
No, you're amazing. And bro, let me tell you something. For the transitions that you've been through also in the past year or so, you to make this decision and make it, you're making the world a better place right now. You and I congregating right now, speaking of our family, speaking of your Navy father, speaking of our family trip, speaking of when your dad says shut up in the way back, because I was in the way back facing the camper that we were towing. You know?
You can relate?
Yes. All of it's relatable. And so people need to hear this. The kids that are being raised now on the internet that care about Instagram and all that stuff and Snapchat more than they care about their families. Guys, get back to your family. Put your phones down at the breakfast table. Pray, hold hands, pray, thank God, and then start your day.
Amen.
Amen.
Mamma Mia's Pizzeria, restaurant in Redford, about 20 minutes from here. Dr. Timothy Kaczynski. He's put 12 implants in my mouth.
I got some teeth, bro.
He does the Red Wings teeth and priest at Catholic Central. I think he just takes care of me. He's a good buddy. High school buddy. You met my wife, Michelle?
Yeah.
He was in our class.
Oh, that's perfect.
He's the best implant dentist probably in the country.
That's like my lawyer. I'm pretty sure our moms were pregnant together, and he's like now a fourth generation lawyer, and he does everything carte blanche. And he's like, dude, we're best friends. I'm not supposed to charge you. I'm like, thank you.
Call Tim for me.
Yeah, right.
He's not that. He's kind
Well,
of
teeth
the
are
priest.
different. Oh, yeah. Teeth, yeah, he's good to the priest. Well, that gets you to heaven for sure.
And I got no problem with that. The Clark Lake Golf Course is the third sponsor, owned by my good buddy Mike McHugh. We went to, again, St. Agatha together. And
Nice.
you'll meet him tonight, tomorrow, probably tomorrow. You're going to love Mike McHugh. He's just like us.
We grew up with the McHugh family that went to Northwest Catholic with my brothers and sisters. I played lacrosse with a kid named Kevin McHugh growing up.
His is MC. He corrected me on this a few years ago.
MC
I've known him for
H-U-E? I don't know.
MC capital H-U-G-H. About 2 or 3 years ago, I've known him for 50 years. He corrected me. He said, Ron, can you spell my last name? It's a little embarrassing.
I always get
right?
confused with the C and then the next capital. What's up with that? McCarty?
So Brad Pitt seems like a great guy.
He is.
You're good friends.
Yes. He is my son Jake's godfather. I was his assistant. He got busy all of a sudden after he got famous and couldn't go outside because he was a little fearful of his fans. So he said, Petey, do you want to be my assistant? I was like, well, what does that entail? He's like, well, I don't really know. I've never had an assistant before. So we figured it out. Me being a kid from Connecticut, him being a kid from Springfield, Missouri, we were like, oh, let's, do this together. So many good years with him. He's still a big, huge part of our family. My Cynthia and Lucas were just in Venice at the film festival with him and George Clooney for a while. And good stories came back home from that about Brad telling stories to Lucas about different events we had, like one night when we moved all of his furniture from his house on top of the roof in the Hollywood Hills. And I got the cable to work and everything. And that was a trippy night, a fun night, let's just say, yes.
Well, his movie, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Good story for that.
Oh, yeah.
Quentin
I wanna hear that one.
Tarantino comes out to the south of France. I'm there. Chateau Miraval with all the kids. Brad hasn't met Quentin in real life, and Quentin comes to the front door. And in old homes in France, they have those old, you can see the whole person's face at the peak door. I think maybe because they used to put milk in it or something. I don't know. But it's a huge thing where you open it, you can see the face. And I open the little wooden thing, and I open it, and Quentin's huge face is in there. And I go, sir, are you lost? And I shut it. He's like, Dante. He's like, opening it. He's like, oh, my God. He's like all the stories, basically, I told him during Little Nicky and us being on, the plane with Adam and stuff. He's like, oh, my God, it's true. I'm like, yeah, dude, let's come meet my friend in the back. And they hung out all night, and Brad said yes to that movie and won a Golden Globe, and then he said yes to that Hollywood movie. Then
that was good.
And he won an Academy Award for that too. So.
And DiCaprio was awesome.
Oh, they're great together, huh?
Aren't they?
Yeah.
I've watched that movie lots.
Yeah, me too.
It was like Quiet Man, My Cousin Vinny type of thing.
Yeah.
Actually, kind of.
Do you remember Legends of the Fall with Sir Anthony Hopkins and Aidan Quinn and Henry Thomas? I think.
I do remember. Yeah, that was a violent movie.
Yeah, very good.
Very good.
Very good acting and good emotions. Family stuff.
Yeah, I love that movie. He was definitely the he was the rebel.
He was loose cannon in that one.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, but then again, you got to remember in 12 Monkeys, when he won his first Golden Globe, I was his assistant during that, and he thanked me, actually. He said, I want to thank my best friend Peter Dante at the Golden Globes. He was that character, Jeffrey, that, Terry Gilliam wrote, who's, Terry Gilliam.
No.
Terry Gilliam is one of the original Monty Python guys, you guys, if you don't know who he is. And he wrote 12 Monkeys.
Of course.
And so Brad, I was in Baltimore, Maryland with them before they started the movie, and Terry came over every night. I was making Brad pasta sauce so he could freeze it when I flew back to California so he could reheat it at night and like dip bread in it and eat. He's a simple guy, beautiful guy. And I would listen to him and Terry Gilliam talk about the character Jeffrey, the crazy character, and oh my gosh, such insight. And even when I was Brad's assistant, the best part about being his assistant, I would go on auditions and stuff, and I'd come back in with like a little pouty face on, like I didn't think I did. He'd be like, dude, throw that shit away. Like, forget about that. Come have a seat,
Kind of like he was for DiCaprio in the movie.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
So I'm thinking Dr. Green Thumb show, and I watched it last night. My son said, Dad, if you haven't seen that, and I said, well, you sent it to me a couple weeks ago and I watched it, and it was where your movie Grandma's Boy is now becoming a cult type movie, like The Shining or something.
Yeah, well, Adam didn't want to do it, because it was his first real rated R comedy with Happy Madison. He's like, we do PG-13 movies. I'm like, well, first of all, I don't need you in it. We're good on you being in it. And I said, and I promise it's about cannabis and video games. So as they progressively grow, you're going to make money off this. And he's made money and continues to make money in the back end because as video games and cannabis keep growing progressively, Grandma's Boy becomes more and more of a cult movie.
And you talked about at one of the movies with Adam Sandler, you guys played a bunch of one-on-one, you guys got to.
Oh, we do it all the time. Literally, that's when I met him at Gary's house. It was cool that we got that one-on-one game out of the way because I didn't realize how obsessed with basketball is. Like on the movie
Wedding Singer?
Well, Wedding Singer, we play basketball every day, but on the movie Grown Ups 2, we would have to play like twice a day. He was worried about looking good, and we would work out with a Navy SEAL trainer named Duffy in this truck with Kevin James, and all of us would work out together, and Adam would be like, let's go play basketball again. So me, him, and Nick Swartz and the guy locker room with cross-eyes would have to run to the basketball hoop, and go play every day. So it was commitment overall to everything, trying to be the funniest, trying to be the best, so.
Every show we've done has been about veterans, charities, or foundations. You can't come here, you're not going to do anything, and I didn't even really have to ask you. I'm sure there's something close to your heart that you'd maybe like to touch base.
Well, I have a nephew named Brandon Joseph who has a rare skin condition called epidermolysis bullosa. It's EB. You can look it up, EB. You can look up the events that we host, the EB Foundation out in Los Angeles, where we've had Ed Sheeran. I can't mention who's singing at it this year, but she's really famous. And even it's a great event. It's a rare disease. I care for it because I care dearly for my nephew, Brandon. But also overall, the reason I also wrote this book is that I really want to do a tour of the St. Jude's hospitals and read to the kids with terminally ill cancer, because who I really want to read to is not the children, it's the parents. I visited these places many times, children's hospitals, and it's the parents who are the most scared. It's the parents who are going through the most pain. The kids don't know, they're unaware, and kids are tough and kids are resilient. And so I want to read that book to the parents so that they get strength from it,
That's awesome.
So my goals are surrounded around cannabis is a huge medicine that takes away the synthetic medicines. And that's another reason I'm huge in the cannabis field, is that it can help so many others get off of so many other things and help them just be mellow and relax and eat and sleep.
Well, one of the things that's happening here is we're like Avis. We have to try harder. We're just nobody knows who we are, what we do. Nobody knows. But some of our past guests, because I got to flip it out here, just Lance Parrish, World Series Tigers,
Great.
'84. Mel Farr Jr. His dad was UCLA. Him and his two brothers played at UCLA.
I'm a big Bruin guy, by the way. You guys go Bruins. Deshaun Foster's my good friend, the new head coach.
You and I talked about Mama Shoe in Highland Park.
Mama Shoe, we got an address over there. I think on 9 Mile, where my boy Eminem grew up. I think there's a little
8 Mile area.
8 Mile, 9 Mile over there, somewhere 8 Mile. Then those little side streets. There's an elementary school that needs to become a boys and girls club for that neighborhood. So let's find that address out over there in that neighborhood. You guys, you know which one I'm talking about. I had videos and pictures of me that snowstorm last year when I was here in front of it. And I really, really hope that something can happen so that can help that neighborhood.
That's awesome.
You know.
Yeah, another one was Jeff Wiska, played for the Lions. He's a Catholic Central guy. He lives by what they talk about, truth, goodness. You know, the guy's lived his whole life that. He's probably he's really humble. I mean, you would never know he played at Michigan State and in the NFL for 6-8 years. Mm-hmm. You'd never have a clue. And Darren McCarty, like I said, was sitting right where you are. And D-Mac.
It's an honor, D-Mac, to be sitting where you sat, 2-5, all day long, buddy.
We've got Mickey Redmond coming up. He was announcer of the year with Jeff Daniels for the whole NHL.
I love Jeff Daniels, by the way.
Red Wings.
I love Jeff Daniels.
Yeah. Jeff.
That's a good call by you to talk about him because he's doing really well right now, too.
Yeah. He's... Ken Daniels was his. It's funny that came up because I got him mixed up. Ken Daniels is his partner, but we certainly have lots of contacts out to Jeff Daniels, and maybe with help from guys like you, we'll get him to.
Hey Jeff, we heard you live around town. Come on and meet Mr. Ron Jess, please, sir, from Peter Dante, from a Los Angeles, Santa Monica, Venice guy. Please come meet my boy Ron Jess. He's worth it, worth every minute.
I'll just mention 3 more. This is Michaela Prue. She was supposed to. I thought she might have been coming out to Clark Lake, but
okay.
She's someone
cute.
People know. She is good.
Nice
She's really
energy.
good.
Yeah.
She's playing downtown at the Fillmore.
She looks a little
Ryan.
like Melissa Etheridge, kind of. You know?
Oh yeah, she's 22 years old. She's gonna be.
That's awesome.
She's coming along. We're just setting it. October 14th, I believe she's coming over here. But she's at the Fillmore, right downtown, coming up there right near Ford Field and LCL Arena. Yeah, she's good.
Y'all go see her, can you?
Mark Mester and Anthony Tomey, shout out to those guys. You're on the list. But Peter, now I wanted to show you something that you might be interested in. Kind of little coin there.
This is funny because one other thing Adam Sandler's done for me, you guys, is that we have visited the Walter Reed and the Naval and Marine Hospital in Bethesda, Maryland. Before we would go to the Super Bowls, we would stop in our private jets to these 2 hospitals. And when you go to these hospitals, the general, the head who meets you, just like the Central Intelligence Agency or the FBI, when they meet you, they go like this, and they coin you.
Oh.
And they say, thank you for coming.
Really?
And I have a few of these that I have
Do
always
you?
saved, yes.
A friend of mine.
And one of my
gave
best
it to
friends
me.
was in charge of the Joint Terror Task Force for the FBI, so.
That's
Real, you guys. Look at that.
The CIA.
That's real.
That's really cool.
And guys in the FBI know CIA make a little bit more.
They all have a credibility issue right now.
Yo.
We could help them all.
Oh, Lord.
Oh my God.
I would have tackled that poor kid. What was he doing over there? It's like, oh my God.
He was only slamming his ladder around. He could basically, everybody's watching.
There was
him
no one
crawl
in the
across.
vicinity. It was like an empty field. What do you mean? That guy was like, he
Barney
should've-
Fife.
Oh, dude, he should have been taken out so much earlier.
I
Yeah.
heard somebody climbed up and looked at him, didn't have his gun with him. I mean,
Oh, yeah, those guys, the guys that couldn't get the fence down. Oh, my Lord. Hey, look, we know law enforcement is a hard job, but we also know this. You guys are well trained. Please stay ahead of the curve because whenever you guys fall behind the curve and we get smashed by the curve, it makes our country look weak, and it makes our intelligence seem like it's not effective. So please stay ahead of the curve. That was an embarrassing moment for our country.
So, Peter, you've done all these boys' movies, Waterboy, Grandma Boy. Should we expect the next movie to be Boys Boy, or?
Well, if I guess they have like a bachelor party for a bachelor show for old men now, don't they? Don't they have the old bachelor people now? Yeah, good. So you can call me Old Man Boy.
Old Man Boy.
Old Man River Boy. But Ron Jess, as a matter of fact, speaking of old men, podcast sucks, bro. And plus, you got to get your tooth fixed next time so you're not whistling the whole show. I'm kidding, Boy George is still around. Maybe I could be Boy George's boy, and we can go back for Big Daddy too. Woo-hoo.
Oh, that was crazy. I thought about that this morning. I'm driving a convertible.
Ron was thinking about me kissing a man on the way to work today.
No,
disturbing.
That's not true.
I know it's not true. I had to say it though. This is amazing.
So we've done about 30 of these, and just prior to winning the 4 Stanley Cups, probably the best line from a Red Wing was Darren McCarty, and he said that before they won the 4 Stanley Cups, when everything changed, he got in the fight with Lemieux, pounded him into the. He said that once the players next to him was more important than themselves, that was it. That was the man. That was the moment.
I want to know if Steve Yzerman was ever one of those guys. I don't think he ever was. I think he was always within himself. I wonder.
I think he was protected.
Oh, by Darren, for sure, 100%.
Yeah,
150%. Yeah, but I think he was respectful about being protected. I don't think he was more, some of those other arrogant guys who are not as well protected, the kind of sissy compared to a guy who's going to drop his gloves. Right. Even before the puck gets dropped, the gloves are coming off, man. It's just part of it, you know what I mean? Like,
some guys love to fight.
Oh, God.
He said that he had a chance to work in Windsor. Him and Bob Probert grew up about 20 minutes from each other, and he said he was destined to take his dad's heating and cooling company over and up around these areas. Unlike California, our winters are icy and cold, so the ground freezes, and he had to dig under homes, and he dug under homes, and Darren McCarty's comment was, his dad, he said, well, when he sells a company, or when he dies, I'll sell it the next day. And then
that sounds just like D-Mac.
his other comment was funnier, was that he said, I could do that the rest of my life like the rest of these guys, but punch me in the face all day long. Rather do that.
Oh, yeah.
In hockey.
Yeah, I'd rather take no and get shit on in Hollywood and be on TMZ than ever carry another shingle up a roof either, because I used to roof for my brother-in-law who just sold his construction company in New England. I was the first employee where he used to put a magnet on his pickup truck, and I just married my sister, and he's like, dude, we got to make this thing work out, or your sister and I are going to do well. And they just, God bless you, Jim and Ann, for retiring and selling your company. And God bless my nephews for buying the first Carroll Construction subsidiary in Massachusetts so they can continue the name and business.
Nice.
Even after they sold the company to a big company. Isn't that cool?
That's really cool.
Goes back to love, loyalty, and family, sir. And that's what Ron Jess and Peter Dante are all about.
You got that right. There's no
And
question.
Darren McCarty. And Brian Big Boogie Entertainment. With his wife and kids, they're all about family. We're family here.
He's going to be in here in a couple minutes. We're really close. So here we go, Peter. We're all here for a short time. When you're at the end of the line, I figure I'm on the 16th, hopefully not the 17th hole yet, but I'm 67 years old. So you do the math. We're at the end. Mm-hmm. So how do you want people to remember Peter Dante?
There's a it's a bridge of one of my songs on Dimes, Nickels, and Pennies. It's a blues song, and in the bridge it says something like, we lay it all on the line, but we know we're gonna be just fine this time. So I like to think about it in broad strokes. If we have loved and raised our children the best of our abilities, and if we have loved our wives also, even though I live with my ex-wife and still love her dearly, we can go away peacefully. But I also think as a man like us and every other man that you mentioned previous who are not here anymore, I feel like, and all my dead friends in heaven who died too young or OD'd or killed themselves, I feel like it's up to us to try to stick around if we can, as long as we have our faculties and as long as we're doing right by the Lord and by God. I feel like we should try to live till we're 100. So I think you're on like the 10th hole right now, Ron, by the way. And you got a bunch of par 5s and maybe a par 3 at 18.
We're going to hit them around today, aren't we?
Yes, we are.
Lakeland Country Club.
We're
Brighton,
coming through.
I'm going to do this description. They'll probably be pissed over at Lakeland, but I'm doing it anyway.
I like it.
Here's what happens. We have Oak Point here in town, and Oak Point is for the rich people. So I can't afford to golf there. But
Me neither.
they got the $30 million clubhouse. They got this. They got that. We have the best chef. We have more fun. And our building, I get lost there. I've been a member there for 12 years, and it's 150 years old. And I walk around, and I'm like, it's a maze. I mean, what room am I in now?
I heard they recently refurbished it, though, yes?
Yes.
They put some money in it? Yeah, that's
yeah.
what Bugs was saying, yeah.
Yeah, it's people are good people. You're gonna love them.
I've heard. I can't wait to see them. Well, I grew up caddying at a country club also because my two other brothers thought that they were, especially my one brother, just congratulations, Mark Dante, on winning the Lakeside Club Championship this past weekend. Good job. My brother Mark won the club championship.
Nice.
But I think he was such a good golfer that when we were young, he would like not wake up to caddy, and he's like, I play golf. I don't caddy. And I'm like, well, probably after my dad kicked him a few times, he would get up. But I would always willingly get up and caddy for my dad because I would learn so much from those guys on the golf course, the doctors, the lawyers, the other caddies, the kids that worked at the pro shop, the kids that cleaned the carts. Any person can teach you something at a country club or a golf course. I'm telling you right now, you guys, learn.
Yeah, I mean, our thing has always been, and our 3 kids understand this, and 2 are in sales and 1's in human resource, and they're good. Their hearts are huge, and what they've been taught and they understand is when you go in a building, whether it's a sweeper or the president, you treat them the same.
That's right.
That's it.
That's right. Yeah, I'm sure Darren McCarty's the same with life. Like whether it's the guy who drives a Zamboni or Steve Eiserman, he's going to treat them both the same. He'll kick the shit out of any guy that with either of them right in the back where they dump the snow with the Zamboni. He's going to take them out there.
Right now we have joining us, and this has just been awesome. I've loved every second of it. We have Brian Haas. Welcome, Brian Haas, Big Boogie Entertainment, best friend of the great Darren McCarty. And Brian and I have really become good friends in the last year. Welcome to the show, Brian.
Nice to have us here, or have me here, Ron. Appreciate it.
I will tell you about
Thank
this
you.
guy. My one show at the Whiskey last year in March, this man showed up for me and helped me remain most calm, most confident, and most happy. So I love you, babe. You're the best.
I love you too, brother. I'm glad to be here with you guys, man. I'm glad to have made this happen today.
I'll tell you what, too, man. When we FaceTimed Darren this morning, because we all like to check in, obviously after your prayers and whatever you got going down, we check in with each other. And we must have said, I love you 5 times before we got off the FaceTime. And you know what, guys? It's okay. When you love, keep loving.
That's it.
Please keep loving.
Well, there's a big thank you to Brian for putting this together. I mean that from the bottom of my heart. We're all going to be, the 3 of us, on tomorrow night.
Yeah.
Well, first we're going to golf together, which will be a hoot. But we're going to go out to Clark Lake Golf Course. And what's happening out there, Brian?
I'm going to try to get lost first with Ron. We're going to walk around the property and try to get lost.
Kids, that's not happening.
I'm excited for tomorrow night. Yeah,
He's making sure the grandkids knows he's going to be all right.
it is a PG show.
Yes, it is. No.
Tomorrow night's going to be a good night. Like you said, we're going to have 4-time Stanley Cup champion Darren McCarty there and a special guest, Peter Dante. I'm excited about it. just getting the opportunity to work with these guys and get to know them on a friend level has just been a great experience.
Brother level.
A brother level. You're right. Absolutely. A brother level.
Well, I was, Peter already talked about it, and the next thing I had on my list that you flew out to California earlier this year, only a month or a couple months ago, and to see Peter, the Whiskey a Go-Go, with all their history. What was that like?
Oh, man, it was a heck of an experience. Just to watch him get in the zone for the show, I think was one of the most awesome things I got to see. And then just to watch him perform, like I told everybody, if there was anybody that could spread the love and the word of the reggae and that part of the industry, it's just awesome. It's Peter Dante. I mean, come on.
What's your friendship like with Darren McCarty?
Unbreakable.
Yeah, I was going to say unpenetratable.
Yeah. Yeah. I was fortunate enough to meet Darren probably 12, 13 years ago and to help him through his tough times and just to create a bond, like Peter said, a brother. That's what I got out of it, as a brother, not just a friend.
And vice versa. You've been great to him. I've been to 4 events with you guys, and 5th tomorrow this year and last year.
Oh, I love working with them, man. I get so excited when because I go all over the place and I get dragged through a lot of different things and scenarios. And I'm okay with that too, because that's just God's plan. But when I get to look forward to coming to a place like this, get to meet you, get to be back with them at a different level, the world is progressing in the right fashion organically.
Yeah. Sure is. It's about family, isn't it?
Yeah, all about family.
And
him and his wife picked me up from the airport last night. I was so happy.
And she's golfing with us today.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Yes, she did. She was fortunate enough to take a couple hours off to come and do that with us. So yeah, I'm excited for
I'm
that.
throwing a plug in for my wife too, because you got to meet
Oh,
Michelle.
dude, his wife is so strong and so solid and so cute. She's like, I got to go get my nails done. I'm like, he's still missing a tooth.
Whatever.
Those are callback jokes, Ronnie. I got to do it. That's what we do in Happy Madison.
What are you done with that? I thought,
Your son wrote that. I didn't write that.
And we were brothers recently. I was toothless too, and I just got razzed about that recently, about a picture posted.
Oh, I've had missing one. I have these chipped. These are both fake. The front ones, I've knocked them out skateboarding. They got knocked out playing lacrosse. Yeah. We have teeth issues if you ever played a contact sport or you just have teeth issues.
or get in the game. Well, hey, let's get in the game, man.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Oh, happy birthday, my Italian Michelle. Happy birthday to you, oh, mi amor.
This is always fun. We've done this with every guest we've had, and Peter and Brian, they're going to try the Jess Pickles. We make them ourselves for the last 25 years. One's garlic dill, asparagus, jalapeno. You got to rate them 1 to 10, guys.
Okay.
Whose specialty is this? You and your wives together?
I worked at a dental lab for 7 years, and it was Jerry Zidane. It was Schumacher Zidane Dental Lab, and the grandpa made them, and we took his recipe.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'm glad. Hey, thanks for the recipe, Gramps.
There's no preservatives. There's just salt, iodine salt, and you got to buy the right vinegar, because if you buy the wrong vinegar, it's 5% or whatever.
Yeah.
They'll go bad. We buy the right vinegar.
You'll give me
We know what
all
we're
the
doing.
info. I want to try to do this. We love pickles in my house. Oh, you can smell. Oh, God.
Garlic dill.
I'm going in, peoples. You see, do you want to rate this 1 to 10?
We say 10's the best.
10's the best.
Right away, 10. Know why? Crunchiness, authenticity of the taste, the dill,
I agree.
mixed with the garlic. Not even too sour, which is amazing. To have a dill, I mean, those of you who do drink alcohol, I would make your martini. Actually tastes really good.
Thanks for that tip.
Sorry about that.
No.
But I'm just saying, It is so authentic that. Did you say there's asparagus in there?
Asparagus and
Watch this.
jalapeno in yours. Brian's got the garlic deal.
Oh, this is.
What do you think, Brian?
I think it's great.
What
Like
number?
you said, crispy, crunchy, not too much bite, just enough. Kind of leaves you wanting another one.
Do you have anything, Peter? We're done here.
We could put these on. You could put these on sandwiches. You could put these on the side. You could put these in a salad. This would be delicious anywhere. Do I have anything? Yeah, I got one thing. I live in a place where reality is not really reality. Los Angeles, California is full of people. I would say this because things have become.
Those are yours.
Thank you. I love this. Things have become unrealistic there. You know, especially since the writer's strike and the actor's strike. There's not enough scripts around. People are meandering around. They can barely pay their rent, their mortgage. They're fleeing from California. I just hope that in 2025, our country comes back to a place where people can be comfortable going out once a week, when groceries are less expensive, when gas prices go down, when we can feel more comfortable about even just going out and not getting robbed, especially in Los Angeles. You're getting your Rolex stolen sitting at Melrose having lunch with your wife and kids. Not okay. I really feel like our country needs to come back with pride in the red, white, and blue, and pride in the country that your father and my uncle fought for. Because that naval man and the Marine lieutenant colonel and the colonel, that guy, those two men right there are the ideal man of America. And some of us guys in our 50s and 60s understand that. Some of the younger kids don't understand that. Look back into history. Look back into U.S. history. Look back why we have so much pride in this country. Look back why 9/11 will never happen again. Because we do care about this country. And we have to care about it more, guys, and care about the people around you. Don't judge people. Do not judge people for what they do or who they are or what religion they are or what color they are, what sexuality they are. God forbid. God put us here to get along. God put us here to love each other. God put us here to respect each other. Please, can we do that? I will do my best. I know Ronnie will do his best. I know Big Boogie will do his best. And I know for sure that Darren McCarty will also be doing his best with us.
Absolutely. Man, that's a
Me
mic
too.
drop.
Thanks for
right
coming
there.
on. I really appreciate it. I'm going to say goodbye to Brian here, but first,
I'm going to sign this book for all the grandkids.
and I'm reading it to my grandson soon. This week. Thanks, Peter.
That's going to be great.
Appreciate you coming on.
Baby.
Thanks for having us.
Brian, thank you so much.